Hello and welcome to another week of Waterhole Cam. Starting off with some minor vandalism there. That was accidental. The little one was just running away from the bigger one. There was some more deliberate baboon vandalism later on in the week. The first of several lion visits this week. I started to lose track of them because they were all quite similar, and they did keep the herbivore visits to the waterhole down, because even when the lions weren't at the waterhole they were always around us. For the entire week they'd been close by, so apart from them things have been fairly quiet. First visit from the Wildebeest in a little while, still hanging in there. Cheeky bugger, where the lions when you need them. No fancy camera angles this week, mostly because I kept the new camera off while I waited for the solar panel and battery to arrive, which eventually did a couple of days ago. So this is the trail cam, and this is shortly after the lions had left the kudu that they killed last week. So the scavengers finally making their way towards the carcass. And this one is very happy with itself. Look at that, it's got a whole leg. I'm not sure if this is a steenbok or a sharp's gracebok. I think it's a steenbok. We found these lions a couple of kilometers away from where we are, and I decided to include it here because it was such a good sighting. There were 18 of them here, I think, and included one big male, but he was fast asleep, and he wasn't going to allow anything to disrupt his afternoon siesta. But they very well fed. It was a lovely warm afternoon, and they were so peaceful and relaxed and affectionate to each other. Now this lioness lying down with a few little scars on her neck, that's the biggest lioness, that's the matriarch of the group, so these other lionesses will be her daughters or nieces. Looks like an action replay of a previous clip, but they just kept on popping out one after the other. They'd spent the day sleeping on a rocky ridge just on the other side of the road, and then they were coming out for some afternoon bonding. A very tolerant lioness. Seems like a very easy life for them at the moment, but once the cubs are weaned, it's going to get very hard for them. Because with lions, there's no women and children first when it comes to eating. It's big first and small last, so if there's not enough food, then the smaller ones will starve. Scary birds giving her a fright. And this time it was the two lionesses that are often hanging around with this young male. And he's also going to be having a tough time of it soon. You know, young males like this, they need brothers and cousins of about the same age to form a coalition when they move off to try and take over another pride. So one male on its own, he doesn't stand much chance. In the last one we had in this situation, he stayed with the pride much longer than he should have because he didn't want to go off on his own, and he ended up getting beaten up by the pride males on a fairly regular basis before he eventually got killed by buffalo. So I worry about this guy a bit. And this was a huge and pleasant surprise. We haven't seen a leopard on camera since December. Hard to tell, but I think that might be a young male. I mean, that's basically the reason I got a trail camera and put it there, was because I thought that that would be where a leopard walked up and down. Yeah, warthog and kudu doing a quick dash past. And the gang of bandit mongooses get around. And for a change, the genet has a drink close to the camera instead of hiding on a little wall on the far side of the waterhole. And a clear view of its tail tip, being dark meaning it's a large spotted genet. Some people hoped that the new camera would stop the giraffes' heads from being cut off, but they're just too tall. The camera's not really designed to look up into the sky. But still, I think it's better than it was before. And we'll end with a couple of double-banded sandgrouse. I think these are the birds that scared the lioness a little earlier. Very attractive birds. You often see them sitting on the side of the road. They don't like to fly off, even when you drive right up to them. I'll see you next week.